Same. And it's all based off of our wants. Buddhism is right. Buddhism is right. If you don't have any wants, that's a lack of evil. You're taking away a bit of evil by removing someone's wants. Right? Sure. Right. Irrelevant. But we make it so we have brainwashed them to the point where we've made it relevant. It is. It's evil. It's evil. I watch again. I watch as doctors prescribe patients stuff that they don't necessarily need, and it's only to get them dependent. So come back next year and need a stronger prescription, or have to continue on with the prescription they've been given because now their eyes can't adapt up close. I'm giving 40-year olds prescriptions for bifocal. Um, we've made it so we trap ourselves indoors anymore, and so now people are myopic at what is it 83% of America is myopic. It's because we don't go outside and look out look down the street anymore. We don't look across the pasture like we did, looking to see if the wolves are coming to eat our sheep. You know, we are we're starting to evolve into cave dwellers. Um, right. Well, when Echo gets to be a little younger than you, they are saying that it won't be so much of people having. They'll have small units that they live in. Most of their world will be lived in virtual reality. Right? Again, they're getting ready to push this. Look, I can tell you for a fact, everybody gets cataracts, right? Everybody gets inocular lenses for their cataracts to help you see, right? They're gonna start using a rendition of say Google Glass or Apple iOS in these lenses, so you can walk around and when you walk up on someone, there everything about them that you know will pop up. You can, with a couple blinks and a couple eye movements, hit the internet, make a phone call. It's coming. Right. It is. This is why they allow so much mental illness to run rampant in these countries. Because it's easier to manipulate people who are sick in the head. Right. Right. Sure, sure. Do you? What's that old flag? It's made by not so nice people, but I understand it. Don't tread on me. Do you? By all means, do you? I don't want to stop you from that. But you think you have the right to stop me from doing me, right? No, that's not right at all. But that's not right either. Oh, sure. Mhm. So why are these beliefs different? Right. Wait, are we going back to 2020? Wait, what? No, I'm talking. I'm talking. Right. Pandemic. Pandemic. Right. What are you talking about? Fiduciaries. Sure. Sure. Yeah. I remember one of the guys I worked with at Men's Warehouse. This woman claiming her husband had died. He sold this woman a suit with a shirt and tie, and then a sport coat with pants and a shirt and tie. And they were proud of it. And I was like, "You're disgusting." I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? She can have one look for the wake and one look for the funeral. Who the does that? Who does that? Right? No, you want to make the money off of somebody who was grieving. And because she's grieving, she, like most of us, or most of us grieving to some degree, grieving can be sought as short term mental illness or under mental illness, was taken under duress, was taken advantage of. Well, that's how they do with us here all over the world, but primarily America. They put you under duress. You got to have this. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to be this way. You got to do this. Got to do this. And by the way, here's a bunch of stuff that we want you to buy that's going to help make it easier, your life easier. But you got to have this because it's going to make your life easier. But you got to work to get this, but you got to have this. Oh, and by the way, you know that whole thing that you ran away from England on, no taxation without representation. We're going to do it here. We're just going to call it something a little differently, but we're gonna tax the shit out of you. We're going to take all your money, make you work really hard. By the way, you think you retire? No, 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 no. We're going to move that up to 70. People are living longer. No, they're not. No, they're not. Of course, battery. Of course, you battery. Right, right. Cutting the tips off of off of roast, right? Right. Yeah, she was cutting the tip off a roast one day, and I was like, "Why you do that?" And she's like, "Well, it's a funny story behind it." I asked my mother the same thing, and at one point in time, she didn't know. She asked her mother, she didn't know. She asked her mother, she didn't know. One of the aunts came forth and said, "Well, it was because we grew up poor." way back in the day, and we didn't have a lot of powder, things to cook in, and so we had a small pan to roast in. The roast was always too big, so we just cut the ends of it off and cooked it there. And so for all these generations, they were cutting the ends off a roast, even though they had pans long enough to hold them. Because when Linda did it, she chuckled to herself while she's doing it, but and she's saving the ends because that's the best part. She's saving the ends, to be cooked separately, on the other side, in the pan with them. But she cuts the ends off, and now it's just a thing of tradition, right? Now it's just a thing of that's what she got accustomed to doing. That's what the right way was to do it. That's how they did it. And that being said, you know, we got technology now. We've got bigger pans. We can fit a whole roast in a pan. I don't mind tradition. I mind tradition when with her it's something of it's romantic now. It's what my family does. It's they put fruit and stuff in Jello still. They still do Jello modes with fruit and shredded carrots. This weird stuff that I'm like, oh my god, who does that? And they still do it. Um, but there's some people who do things like that are tradition that are nonsensical and nonsensical to the point where it's detrimental. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't benefit anything. Why? In the case of this with the roast, it's not harming anything. Ultimately, you're still cooking a whole roast. You're just cooking the ends, inside instead of it being on the end of the roast, it's on the side of the roast. Cooking next to it. But in the case of some certain things, like I don't know. Um, I remember once wanting to go out with this Arabic girl, and she couldn't go out with me because she said her father and brothers would have a problem with it. And I asked why. Like, because that's just how it is. They're gonna pick somebody for me to marry. I'm gonna marry him. We're gonna have a wonderful life. And it was amazing because it's like, well, so you couldn't pick somebody for yourself and have a wonderful life, right? But it's their tradition. It was their tradition. Nothing wrong. It's not detrimental per se, but it is somewhat limiting, right? It's they threw away the ends of the roast, right? Right? They waste. It's right, right. I mean, I'm not mad at her or anything for it's your choice. If that's how you guys get down. That's how you get down. But it just seems like a waste to me. Yeah. Well, yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, there's some basic things that are important. You know, right? There's some things of being human that that are kind of important. And unfortunately, I think we take that for granted a lot, right? We don't because we're experiencing it. We're self-absorbed. We don't understand somebody else is experiencing it as well. Just that whole thing of being human. Um, as far as the big corporations and whatnot, the people, I like that whole parable. Get behind me. Um, you know, if you're living decently, you're Christ. You're basically walking through all of this and saying, "Hey, get behind me." Right? If you're seeing, you're seeing it for what it really is. Unfortunately, they prey on people who don't. They you know. Right. I thought we were all. I thought it was all mine. Right. No, there's some people who are better. Sure. Right. Sure. Right. Right. No way. Well, of course not. Well, of course, why would they? They're Christian. If they got the Ten Commandments, if they don't know anything about Djibouti. Right. Right. Book. Right. Right. Yeah. Wow. Right. I'm sure it does. Well, what do you consider light? I mean, Are we, right? Silly cons. You know, it's just a shame because I do. I see such talent and such in the world, and I see, you know, again, the girl that this said to me, "If you're so smart, why are you not rich?" Because smart people, there's a lot of smart people who aren't rich. Um, there are two types of people in the world: those who do whatever they can to get whatever they want, and then other people, right? Right? No, but that's the thing. They typically don't have any. They typically don't have any scruples, and then they're put in positions of power where they are over people like us that, you know, build their houses and take care of their children and educate, heal, and grow, and they sit back and go ha 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 ha, right? It's just a really messed up world because the people who should be given some consideration to aren't. Why is it that we can't seem to get a president who is under a certain age? Oh, we won't even say a certain age. We won't even say that. Um, but who is really connected with the people because they don't want you to have someone who's really connected with you, right? They want you to look up, right? They want you to look up. They want you to continuously see them in that God mode, see them as that God. And most of the people I've met, I was walking with a girl at the last visiting meeting. This is the one they had down at the big football stadium. What is it, Ford Field? And ran into Ken Stanley, the owner of the company. As we're walking, she's thanking him. Oh, Mr. Stan, thank you, thank you. I'm looking at this guy's jacket and his shoes now, and I'm thinking that jacket costs about $800, and those shoes cost about two. Right? I know. That shirt he's wearing probably was 150 bucks. The pants was probably about $100. Right? This guy's walking around with close to $1,500 on of clothing on. Right? That's not counting his. He doesn't give a shit about your thank yous. All you're doing is feeding his ego. And so I said, I don't know what you thanking him for. He should be thanking us. We make it so he can wear $800 jacket. And he just like looked at me and he nodded his head because game recognized game. He didn't get mad. Why would he? He got $800 jacket on, $200 shoes. Just because, right, one monkey don't stop no show. Just because you noticed, that don't mean a damn thing to me. You work for me. Good for you for noticing. She still thanked him. And I'm like, okay. Oh, thank you. I'm like, why are you thanking him? He should be thanking us. If it wasn't for your hard work, I can guarantee you got at least half a cent into that $800 jacket. And we praise these people. I'm not saying that you shouldn't appreciate someone affording you an opportunity at all. That's just a spit in the face. That's just to be ungrateful. I'm not saying being ungrateful, but when it gets to when I see these people and they treat these people who have a little bit of money, shit, I got a little bit of money. You want to kiss my ass? Right? I see them kissing people's ass, and I'm like, you do realize his shit stinks probably worse than yours because he can afford the good shit to make it stink worse than yours. Clean his shit right out. Right? So everybody's shit stinks. Everybody gets bacterial growth. Why am I thanking you like you are some god? I appreciate the job. I don't. I wouldn't say that. You must know I appreciate it, or I wouldn't still be fucking doing it. Right? I would have got up and went somewhere else. Right? It's the illusion of choice. I'm going to go somewhere else and work for somebody else. It's not like I'm going to be able to, well, I guess I could, but if I left at this point, it's going to go be to work for somebody else to pay for somebody else's $800 jacket. But I've gotten to the point. You get to a point where you're like, why am I? I make you money. Why am I kissing your ass? You should be thanking me. I'm not saying that to be, again, ungrateful or anything like that. But I work very hard. If you at some point in time meet the Starbucks guy, don't kiss their ass. They're nothing. They're just people. They're just people. Sure, sure. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. I heard a question today. I was watching, doing my YouTube thing, and they asked, "What is Easter? What is Easter?" Yeah, what is Easter? No, no, no. But within Christian religion, what is? Sure, sure. But people were saying things like it's the Easter Bunny. It's time to get together with family and friends and have a good time, and I was like amazed um, at the fact that we live in what is perceived to be a Christian nation, and they couldn't people out of 100 people, it was mainly older people or black people could answer the question correctly, and I would say that was probably at about 20, maybe I'll give it 25%. And I'm not a Christian or anything like that. At least I don't. I'm biblical. Oh, that's Linda calling. I'm gonna send her a text. I'm not biblical or Christian or anything. I am biblical. Can you still hear me? Um, but it amazes me that we have gotten away from some very core traditions in this country, and I kind of wonder if that's why the country is the way it is right now. You know, right? All, they all have. Yeah, Juneteenth. Juneteenth. They make Juneteenth ice cream. Sure, sure. But that's again the false sense or feeling of choice. All right. Guys and Clark. Right. Right. So, right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, so we should pick a topic and discuss it for an hour. Ah, son, it's always a pleasure. Yuckity, yuckity, yuckity.